Hello, yeah, guys, how is it going? My name is Dave, DLC Dave, and welcome back. We are on episode 4 now, I believe it is, of my FM18 beta save marching on together. And you join us at the 1st of January, just before this date, we had a contract talks with the chairman, Andrea Radulitsani. Great guy, great name. And he offered me a new contract, and we have accepted. So we have signed a new 2-year deal with the club, taking us all the way to June 2020. So this episode is going to be, I'm not going to bring you any games. I'm going to go through January, as it's a transfer window. It's going to be a bit of a transfer special. We have a little bit in the kitty, 1.5 million. We've also got maybe a couple of players moving out, which will lower which will then raise that wage budget availability. So I'll show you what I am thinking now. If I can try and maneuver around this system, 'cause it's a bit new to me. I'm looking at a few loans really. Christian Bialik is one. I've made some loan offers already just to try and get the ball rolling. He looks like a really good centre back. He can never have too many, in my opinion, and he can also play defensive midfield. He's got those attributes to do that. That's an option. Yangel Herrera is another midfielder from Man City. Looks really good. Venezuelan. I've never heard of him, but he looks good. So yeah, I'm going to try and bring him in. Nikola Vlasic is a bit of a long shot. I don't know whether he would be interested, but I've made the loan offer. Everton were pretty reasonable at what they wanted. I think it was like 7, 8k in the wages, something like that. And yeah, uh, Matthias Klick is leaving to join Rapid Vienna, 1.4 million. That's already been decided. And Paulo Hernandez has got two offers to leave. He's complained about staying and is only a backup player, really. Hasn't contributed any goals or assists this year. I'm happy to see him leave, to be honest with you. If he does go, 19,000 in the wages can be easily used elsewhere. So I'm going to progress through January now. We have got games. We've got a game today against, I think it's Nottingham Forest. Where are we schedule? Yeah, so Nottingham Forest. Fixture-wise, it's been going reasonably well. You saw us like 1-0 winning against Middlesbrough. We followed up with a 2-1 victory away at Wolves. A really good result. Wolves were at the top of the table at the start of that game, and we coped with them quite well. They only got that consolation goal very, very late on. We did lose the next game, but we were down to 10 men for 80 minutes when Luke Ayling did a stupid tackle, really. And yeah, cost us that game really. We just didn't have enough, even though they went down to 10 men. We just didn't have enough to push home an advantage and get an equaliser. We then played a very, very topsy-turvy game against Aston Villa. They went 2-0 up and we offered nothing. We hadn't even had a shot until we scored. And I changed things around about just before it happened, really, just before we scored, and went all out attack, overload everything, threw the kitchen sink at them, and they scored again straight after we scored. But then Pierre-Michel Lasogga popped up with two goals, and we managed to somehow claw a 3-3 draw back from that game. 1-1 draw away at QPR. It was a reasonable performance, a reasonable result. I never complained about an away draw. A disappointing one against Norwich. Another sending off. There's been a few of them in this little sequence, really. Um, they took the lead with Mario Varancic. We equalised straight after half time with Alioski, but then Russell Martin with a header from a corner, I believe it was, sealed the win for them. We then had two wins, two pretty comfortable wins. Sabitsky and Lasogga with a penalty against Hull, and then a 2-1 win against Burton. I'm actually going to show you. I want to. One thing I forgot to mention. I'm going to show you their goal. Lucas Atkins put this ball in the net. Alright, so we cleared the ball here, as you can see. Scannell retrieves it. He then puts the ball, I think he passes, no, he just chucks it across field, and Akins on the half volley, absolutely smack. I don't see anything like it. That is absolutely ridiculous. That strike on the half volley. Anyway, unfortunately, we were able to get a winner through Christian. His first goal in a good while, actually, securing that win. And then another red card away at Birmingham. Birmingham are actually pretty good in this. Well, have been pretty good this season. They are in the playoffs along with us. I think they're fourth, and we should have won this game. Even though we're down to 10 men, Christian actually missed a penalty, um, which it was really disappointing because I felt like we deserved the win. To be honest, Birmingham were not very good, but they have been good this season. So we must just be able to deal with them, I suppose. But again, an away point, not terrible. So we're on a decent little stretch. It's a bit streaky at the moment. It's like we win a few, don't win, win it a couple. And I'm hoping we don't start a little sequence of not winning. We do play Nottingham Forest now. We played them obviously earlier in the season. We won 3-0. So I'll progress into January and I'll bring you any news that you might want to see. All right, guys, that's the final whistle against Nottingham Forest. A good 3-1 win. We very, very dominant in this game. We're 2-0 actually inside of 8 minutes. 2 goals in 2 minutes for Kamara Roof, and then a goal for Calvin Phillips. They got a goal back, 63rd minute, but nothing else really happened in the game, and it's a very, very pleasing result. So I'll probably come back to you next for any transfer news, gossip. We'll see what happens, shall we? Okay, so Yangel Herrera has agreed to join the club. He looks like a really good player to me. Can't see that much about him. Stats don't know a huge amount, but 19 years old. Physically, he looks very good. He's 6 foot tall. Technically, he looks decent. Mentally, he looks okay. I'm gonna agree with that. We're gonna bring him into the club. He's gonna be I think he's gonna be an improvement on Phillips for sure. Um, that's one signing in the bag. Lassie says, unfortunately rejected the move. I thought he may do, to be honest. It was a bit of a long shot. But it was worth a go. I think he probably should be doing a little bit better than a little bit better than a championship club. Just looking at Herrera now, it looks pretty good. It looks like a pretty solid option. A little bit technical, so maybe a little bit low, but he's only 19. It's his birthday actually in 2 days, so we'll throw a party. Yeah, I like it. I like him. He'd be an interesting player actually. David Brooks. He is a fairly highly rated player as far as I'm aware for Sheffield United. And his cost is 2 point. A few Premier League clubs have bid, bit over 2 million. I don't know, is he on a transfer list? Is he? Who's transfer listed since the deadline day last year? Maybe he had an issue with wanting to leave. I don't know. My scouts, what my scouts think of him? So he's a good dribbler. His agent could be an issue. Not a really rough tackler. He's not a massive dressing room figure. He's ambitious, he's pacey, and he's a good dribbler though. I like the look of it. I'm going to try and see if we can work out a deal. Obviously, we don't have the money yet. We don't have the initial money, but if we try and do it over some sorts of installments. So if we do 3 installments, if we do something like that, and suggest that to them, they're happy with that. So we'll get into negotiations with him. Obviously, it's Premier League clubs that are interested, but I think he could be a good player for us for the future as well. He's young, he's English, and I think he could be a real asset for us in that attacking midfield area that we are a little bit light in right now. We can also play up front should we need that, and that's always a nice thing to have for a player. Okay, so here we are at the contract negotiations. So he only wants a 2-year deal. I'd rather have a little bit longer. Um, he wants 12k a week. What is he currently? He's only on 4k. So it's not a huge rise. He does want a fairly substantial fee. Yeah, obviously he's got Pinnacles after him, so we are going to try and I'm going to lock that down to 300, lock that down to 200. Maybe give him a little bit more in the wages to compensate, and perhaps a longer deal. We'll offer him that and see what he says. Okay, he's happy with that. Obviously, I'm not sure whether he will choose us. Obviously, Premier League clubs just means Premier League clubs are after you, and he may want to do that, but he's happy with that deal. I'm happy with that deal. If we can get that done, I think that would be a good bit of business. We'll see what he says. And a very, very dull um, FA Cup third round is brought to an end. One shot on target in the whole game for both teams is not good enough. And yeah, we did rotate quite a bit, but we still, yeah, we it looked like we did. We looked disjointed really. Um, Post-match press conference and assistant for that. It just means we've got a replay coming up, unfortunately. None of the players, a couple of them are first teams actually that I couldn't rotate. But we don't play for another week now, so some time for transfers to happen. Let's hope they do. Okay, Newcastle have now made a bid for David Brooks, so maybe a bit of an ask now to choose us, but we'll see. Who knows? Pablo Hernandez though is leaving the club. He's joining Al Assad. Um, we'll accept that, and he'll be gone. It's a free transfer. Oh, lack of squad depth. Okay, that's midfield it. We could do a few additions here. Now, the issue is that if often in Football Manager you say that we had to make additions because we are trying to make some additions, like with David Brooks, but they often don't see some of the replacements and think, oh, that's fine. But I'm going to say it, and that they will, because that is the truth. And how much Pablo's gone for? So what has he done there? He's almost doubled his wages. Fair play to the lad for a year and a half. So that means in the kitty now only 17k. Maybe it's counting in some of the loan things that we've done. Fourth round draw is being made. I'll see who we get. And we've now got to go through a away game. Leeds or Reading will play Barrow or West Brom. Okay, interesting. Hopefully Barrow. Right, so Bialik is happy to join the club. He's only playing. He's only on 4k a week. Yeah, we'll do that. No fees involved. Just 4,000 a week in wages for a player as good as him. It's a no-brainer. So David Brooks chose to sign for Newcastle. Unfortunately, as I thought he might. He was a good player. Maybe one that's got away a little bit. We would have been nice to have someone like that at the club, but wasn't always that likely, I suppose. And there you go. There's a 45k in the wages that we've got now. So really, we do need to sign somebody in an attacking midfield position. So I'm going to spend some time now looking for an option, and we'll see who we can find. This could be the man, Callum McGregor. He's transfer listed for Celtic, 2.4 million they're asking him, so a similar price to Brooks. I'm going to scout him. Okay, I've also made an offer for Marcus Maddison, and it seems like it's going to be accepted. He would actually be really good, I think. Technically, he looks like he's got all the attributes. He may even be a better player for us than Saïd's. So I'll scout him and see what comes back now. And just like that, Marcus Maddison is happy to sign. It's a bit of a big transfer fee, 3.4 million. Pretty much all the money now that would go out basically. He's on 14 grand a week. Looking at him, I think he looks really good. That he's 24 years old. He's English, obviously. From Peterborough. He's in League One. He's in League One now. 1 goal and 6 assists for Peterborough in a 10th. So he's doing okay in a mid-table team. I'm gonna do the deal. I like him. I think he adds a lot to us. So we can also play on the flanks, which is always useful. And yeah, I like that. And look at it, guys. I think that'll probably bring us to an end to this episode. It's supposed to be a bit of a January special, transfer special, and really now with that signing of Maddison, we've got no transfer budget left. We have a little bit in the wages, so if a loan player comes up that where the selling club don't want to charge us a fee, then it may be something we could do. Yeah, and there are a couple of players that I have offered out that you will notice, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I'm happy with the balance of the squad now. Hopefully the players are as well. Um, but we're gonna leave it there for this episode, guys. If you haven't enjoyed it, it's something slightly different, a little bit more little bit more of me chatting, unless obviously you saw no games. We played two while you were here. There was the 3-1 winning at Nottingham Forest, and then the 0-0 draw against Reading. So it leaves us in a good position in the Championship. We are again, it's very tight on those playoff places. Middlesbrough upwards really, up to us, is very tight. We've got a good goal difference though, and I'm hoping that we can just keep pushing up for those top three positions and try and put ourselves in the conversation for the top two. That's all I want. Playoffs really have to be the minimum for me though. But yeah, next episode will probably be, well, it will definitely be after January, so we'll round up anything that has gone on then. I don't think too much will happen. Maybe look to bring you who is at the top? QPR actually. When do we play them? Oh, last game of the season. Well, I can't wait for then. Maybe the Wolves game in March. Maybe somewhere a bit earlier. Maybe it could be Derby around here perhaps. But yeah, I'll see how things are going, and then I'll bring an episode to you, of course. So if you are enjoying the series, guys, so far, it's great. I'm really enjoying FM18. I'm gonna be honest. It feels like a breath of fresh air, and that's seems to be what I've seen and heard from many of my fellow creators is that they like all the new additions, the dynamics, the medical center, the scouting center, the match day experience is probably the biggest thing for me, how good that looks. And yeah, I think it's in a good place right now, FM, and I'm happy alongside it. So yeah, if you have enjoyed this episode, guys, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. Follow me on Twitter, of course, at DLCDave1. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.